Welcome to day 2. We are about to see ball 1.
We've got Rob Pierce starting things off here from the childcare end there. We remember last week that he had that nose injury while in first slip there, so it's good to see him back out there and bowling.
Yes. So here we go. Lower Plenty are continuing to bat for day 2. Pierce into bowl. And a lovely Yorker chopped down there.
Good start there. Of course, Lower Plenty, this is not our batsman. Maybe a little bit surprised that they're actually going to be coming in straight away, although they may have already discussed it during the week there.
They'll definitely have had a plan in mind, exactly how many more runs they need, what exactly they're going to be trying to do here. So,
Pierce into Lacey.
And it's driven, but straight to mid-on, dot ball. So let's just have a look at the field now. Slip, gully, point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, a wide-ish mid-wicket, and then square leg, and then a very straight short fine leg. To bowl. And it's driven aggressively, but the bowler stops it, and it is just picked up there on the roll, or not even on the roll, it was stationary at the time. So, a very good start here from Pierce. Very strange to have a short fine leg. There's a huge gap, wide backward square leg. Pierce into bowl, and it's on the pads.
Straight to the short fine leg.
Yeah. So it's an orthodox field, or orthodox fielding positions everywhere. No one is on the fence, and everyone is saving one. A couple of attacking positions, but mostly just orthodox regulation positions.
Nothing overly surprising, bar that short fine leg.
Pierce into bowl. And it's aggressively swatted, and it beats the gap in extra cover. And the mid-off fielder will collect it in.
Good chase there from Mackenzie, giving that to just a couple. But a lovely driven there. He's gotten hold of a couple reasonably well so far this afternoon, but that was his best shot so far of the 5 deliveries he's faced there. So some good batting there from Lacey.
Yeah, very aggressively swatted. Pierce into bowl. And blocked. He seemed to want to play the drive, but then he stepped out of it. So that's the end of the over. It is 123 for 5. Okay, so we're coming into the 48th over here today.
Got Dave Ramsey resuming there from the river end there, bowled the last over of last time, which was marginally surprising. We would have thought they were stuck with the younger troops, but he definitely it was a safe option, I think, considering what their role they're looking to play, which is just be conservative.
Yeah. I mean, the decision, obviously, you could like try and put everyone on the fence and stop any boundaries from being scored, but that's like kind of asking the Lower Plenty bowlers to hit it over their heads. This seems a much more aggressive decision.
So Ramsey into Caldera, who played outside the off sub. Needs to get his footwork going there. He's one of those many batsmen who are only having their first match bat this summer. So it'll be important for him just to make the most of this time.
This time the fine leg is a bit deeper and a bit wider, but other than that it's pretty much the same field.
Similar to what Lower Plenty had last week. This one's even fuller, fielded by Ramsey, no chance of a single.
So, we haven't seen anything. Obviously, this is just the second over, so they would want to just feel bat on ball, get their understanding of what's happening out there before they decide to play any wild shots. So we'll just have to wait and see. And it's full toss, it's driven, and mid-off will fumble it, but we'll pick it up. No, we'll just stop it for 1 run.
So Cadilla off the mark there, playing it nicely there. The left-hand, right-hand combination might be a little bit frustrating there for Ramsey and his team there. What you want to do is, if you are trying to just keep the single standard, you want to make sure that the fielders don't have to keep moving around there. Obviously then have to adjust their lines and lengths as well there.
Like I said, it's a little bit warm for a fielding, but not too much.
Defended there by Lacey, just back to Ramsey, so again, no run.
Yes. We're not seeing any swing. I would expect that the ball, even though Trainer was able to get the ball to swing the last half an hour last week, I don't think that these two will be able to get the ball to move much.
I'll say so.
And a wild hit over the head of the mid-off fielder, and that hit slams into the football the football bench. That's 4 runs.
That's the idea what they'll want to do here, just take advantage of those gaps there, because that was a reasonably safe shot considering it was quite wide of the mid-on fieldman there, so a reasonably safe shot even though it was aerial.
Into bowl, and it's a full toss, and it's a missed catch. A big full toss at about shin height. The batsman tried to play a shot and it went past Ramsey at about his shoulder, but he just couldn't get his arms around to take it, so he just went past him. End of the over, it is 5 for 128. So, Pearce into bowl, and it's short of a length, tries to play it off the hip, but doesn't go anywhere, and the wicketkeeper picks it up. And so yeah, Caldera obviously is came in at the very end of last week, so he doesn't have any runs under his name just yet. Pearce into bowl, and it's defended, but not the best played, and fielded there by the fielder at cover.
It's a bit of a lull this period, and it's not surprising when we worked out that Lower Plenty were deciding to bat on there. It's a little bit of an anticipation from the crowd, just waiting for the declaration to come at some point.
Pearce into bowl. Oh, it's edged, and it's caught! What a catch! Unfortunately, because of the angle of the camera, we were not able to pick up the catch. The umpire was in the way, but we were able to get the edge and the diving display there by the fielder at gully. Very good catch there. A wicket has fallen, and so the 6th wicket from Lower Plenty is out.
You're exactly right there. It was fantastically caught there in the gully. A bit of a reward for effort there, because Diamond Creek's start's been pretty good there. Obviously, when it comes to this situation, it's a bit of a no-win situation. There's not really anything that Diamond Creek can do too much that means that they held the advantage for this morning period. But all it can do is just get as many wickets as they can, and that's the first one.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting situation, because Lower Plenty, considering how far they are ahead of the game, they would have thought they could like bash some quick runs, and then declare and have all the momentum on their side. But the fact that they lost those 3 wickets in the last session, and now they've lost another one, which means that more Lower Plenty batsmen are out than not out. It means that there's just not as much batting momentum in their side in order to get those runs, in order to boost that lead into triple figures, so that they're in a position to win this game this afternoon.
Exactly right there. So let's see what Pearce can do there against the new batsman.
And left alone there. And so
probably not as big of a crowd as we saw last week there.
Yes, they're probably watching over on the Coventry Oval, watching the ones. Pearce into bowl, and a wild whoosh, and the keeper spills it, and the fielder at gully has to collect it up again.
It was well bowled there, but from a wicket-keeping point of view there, when it comes around your chest, you generally would either have to do one of 2 things, and which Stephen did neither. You either take it with your fingers up and get yourself low, or you give yourself a bit of give towards your left shoulder and take it there, and he didn't either, and that's why he fumbled it.
Pearce into bowl, and left alone this time. A bit of bounce that time. So that is the end of the over. It is 128 for 6. So Ramsey to continue to bowl from the river end, and it's blocked. A Yorker Good stuff there. One of the things that is unfortunate about the DVCA is that you don't get any points for second innings draws, which means that Diamond Creek aren't actually playing for any points. So even if they save this game or they lose it by an outright, doesn't change their situation. And it's another Yorker, and it's chopped out, pushed to mid-off.
Well, the only scenario that they would get points is if they happen to get a second result tie or victory there, which they would then gain points there. But no, from saving the game, exactly right, they don't get anything there.
Which is disappointing, because if we had some stakes, this afternoon could be really exciting for Diamond to try to hold on. But anyway, Ramsey into bowl. And it's a flicked off the thigh pad, tried to play a pull shot, but it bounced way too low, and fielded there by Stevens.
Did a lot better there. Steven got himself nice and low there. And even that last ball for the last over there, we gave himself give, even though it was to his right shoulder, still gave him the opportunity there to take the ball through. So much better than that other delivery we spoke about.
Ramsey into bowl. And down the leg side, and Stevens has to dive to his right to collect it. The fielder at mid-off is very straight, and the fielder at cover is pretty much orthodox, which means there's a gap at extra cover to the wideish mid-off region.
Exactly right there, and it seems to be the same for the leg side as well, which where Lacey hit his boundary a bit earlier.
Ramsey into bowl. And this time the batsman defends it. He's doing the same thing with his technique, the batsman. It's his trying to make sure that his arms are free from his body so that he can swing through the line of the ball, which means he has to step away from the line of the ball and step inside of it, or step outside of it, in order to keep his arms space.
Exactly right.
Ramsey into bowl. And defended there, and that was a very strange shot, because he didn't move his legs whatsoever, that batsman. So a nice maiden there. It is still 128 for 6. So Pearce is to continue to bowl from the childcare end. And it's a wild whoosh, and once again that is just old-fashioned ugly slogging. Not even bothering to try to move his feet towards the line of the ball, just using his sheer body weight to try to get that away, and not getting anywhere near it.
Well, when you are trying to score quickly, you've got two options, which we'll talk about after this delivery.
A full toss, very wide. The batsman didn't try to step into it, just swung from his standing position, bottom edge, fielded by Stevens, dot ball.
Well, they've got two options there. One of the things you can do is doing what we've got our batsman doing at the moment there, which is playing to your strengths, which seems to certainly be over cow corner, which he's gone for the first two deliveries.
Pearce into bowl, and defended there, which is the classic way when a tail ender is trying to slog and he misses a couple. So, got to feel bad on ball, and then he does the most gorgeous orthodox block shot.
Exactly right there. And the other thing you can do, which is a bit more orthodox, is play through the line of the ball there. And this is probably more appropriate when you have a ring field there. Play through the line, either through probably cover point or gully.
Pearce into bowl. Oh, clean bowled. A terrific Yorker, and the batsman tried to, this time he put his front foot over to the leg side to try to swing through the line, and in the end the ball just was too good for him and clean bowled.
Exactly right there. It's really good bowling there from Pearce. They did miss him a little bit last night, even though their best period was with their younger bowlers there. It's always good to have your leaders out there on the field there and playing a part, so it's good for Diamond Creek to say that he's back, firstly. And secondly, that he's doing the job there, bringing in another wicket there. And
it was leg stump that was removed, not off stump. So the ball must have... I'm a little bit strange, because he seemed to play it as if it was a full toss at off stump. But in the end, his leg stump was knocked out of the ground.
Exactly right. Probably misread the angle a little bit there from Pearce there. A little bit of an unorthodox bowling action makes it tricky to read sometimes there. So perhaps that was the case there. But regardless, we got our number 9. So getting close to not playing 9th and declaring.
That would be very strange. That would be such a surrender of momentum to actually have your team bowled out. Here we go. Pearce into bowl. Left alone. So, just 2 wickets in hand now, and this team, Lower Plenty, who are trying to, you know, make a declaration that they're at the top of the table, they're one of the premiership contenders, are now about to be bowled out by the bottom team.
Exactly right, it's a big shift there. Just 3 in hand, as we see Pearce once more.
Oh, wild whoosh! And that's the end of the over. So now we are down to 7 wickets. It is 7 for 128. Okay, so we're back. Ramsey to continue, and and it's a quick single. It's hit straight to the fielder at cover. Cover was not he didn't have his forward momentum. He wasn't on his toes. He was more sitting on his ankles, and they took advantage of it.
A little bit disappointing feeling there from Mary. He's had a good game so far.
So Ramsey to bowl, and full toss, and it's hit, and once again to Merritt, and they steal another run.
This is bad from Low playing there, just making the most of each opportunity there. Ramsey, I don't think is quick enough to threaten the wicket there, so what I think they'll do is look to essentially attack Ramsey there, even if it's just through singles and putting the pressure on the field, and maybe see out Pearce.
Ramsey into bowl, and it's pulled down to the wide fine leg region, and the fielder really has to run, and they're going to get it just before the boundary. No, it's over the boundary, 4 runs.
Beautifully played there from Lacey, got right on top of it there and pinning it through backwards square there. Fantastically played there. That's the ideal pull shot there, where you use whatever pace of the ball you have there, and mostly though from final.
So, Ramsey in the bowl, and it's driven, and it's wide of the mid-on fielder, so they will run around and get 1 run from it.
This is probably the one thing that maybe you do have to look at when you are thinking of your bowls for this situation, is that maybe Ramsey's marginally too slow. Perhaps then looking at someone even to the other extreme, like a Russell for his off spin.
Ramsey into bowl, and it's driven, but straight to mid-off, and they're going to have a ping, and misses it. Oh dear.
Mackenzie actually seemed to wait for it a bit too long there. Certainly if he attacked it, he would have had a little bit more time to line himself up and actually perhaps even underarm it towards the stumps there.
I don't know what's going on. Like, they're going for quick singles. You've got to be rushing in.
So Ramsey for the last ball of this over. And this will be off the pad, and they will pick up a leg by reasonably comfortably in the end.
Bad stuff from the fielding team of Diamond Creek. After 1 quick single, you should have known what the game plan was and tried to counteract it. Nice over, 9 runs from it. It is 7 for 137. Okay, so we're into the 53rd over.
7th over of today. With Pearce coming in.
And another aggressive hit. Batsman once again trying to allow his arms to swing through the line of the ball, but unable to get the angle right, so he just chopped it into his leg.
One of the things that we talked about last week there with Pearce was Eugene Macintosh joined us in the commentary box talking about his temper. Certainly showed some traits of that with his upcoming couple of wickets.
Into bowl, and it's what happened there?
Well, it went straight back to Pearce there, and the reactions were a little bit late, so he hit the top of the, perhaps the fingers. Looked a little bit close to the top of the hand, but the way Pearce is shaking it off, it looks more fingers, and then, yeah, roll that to mid-on, so no chance of a run.
Which hand was it? It was left.
Left hand, so he'll be fine.
Not important.
I'd like you to tell Pearce that at the innings break.
Pearce into bowl, and didn't bowl as much. That was the one where he doesn't put as much energy into it, and it just skids off the top of the surface, and so the batsman hit lower on the bat.
It's well bowled. It's a clever change of pace, because it doesn't do a lot different there. It's just more the energy, which is a lot of his actual bowling speed comes from that energy as he hits the crease.
And Pearce is still discomforted. Comes into bowl now. And it's aggressively hit, but the fielder at wide-ish mid-wicket fields it there.
This is a much better open Diamond Creek there. Certainly looked to be a little bit more aggressive. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything obvious there, but it's just their energy and their intent has been a lot better this over as opposed to the last one.
Pierce into bowl, and down the leg side, steps inside of it, and it goes down. To go back to something that we discussed last over, I'd like to see Trainer. I really liked what he was able to do coming towards the end of last week. His little in-swingers to the right-hander were really difficult to hit away. I think he should be bowling instead of Ramsey.
It's a good idea. We'll see if they do it. As here's for the last ball of this over.
And wild whoosh! End of the over. A nice one for Diamond Creek and Maiden. So it is still 137 for 7. Okay, so this is the 8th over or the 9th over?
This is the 8th over of the day so far.
And
do have a change of bowler. We've got a different left armour there, so they certainly read your mind in terms of the hand of bowling. They've gone with Farah as opposed to Trainer.
I don't mind that. Farah, I still think from what I saw last week that Farah is a little fast. Because if he's trying to be a dibbly-dabbly medium pacer, he needs to bowl a bit slower than he does.
First ball. This one comes off the shoe, but no run considering the short fly leg, so...
Because I think that Farah is that little, that Goldilocks position where he doesn't get the best of either worlds, and so he's sort of a nothing bowler. If he bowled a bit slower or a bit faster, he might be more useful than he is.
I think at these age he may not be able to bowl a bit faster. This one's down leg and Steven stops it.
2 good balls there, 2 dot balls, firing in at the toes, and it's clear that the batsman is very much a top-handed batsman, trying to use his top hand to guide the ball in certain ways, and he doesn't like being bowled at his toes. And it's a full toss, and the fielder at square leg collects it, but bumbles it, and still bumbling it, and still bumbling it, and there he is.
Would you even call him a bumbling assistant there? So now we've got the dual left-hand combination there with Lacey onto strike, which probably should suit Lacey if anything, there with the angles.
Farah into bowl, and it's flicked off the pads, and it beats the gap between square leg and mid-wicket, and they have to run down to the mid-wicket boundary, and one of the fielders flicks it to the other one, and they throw it in, and what do they get? 2 runs there.
And this is what I was talking about. The angle will suit Lacey there because of the fact that Farah does naturally pitch it up there, and that Lacey does like using the angle to play through leg side. And with Farah bowling a little bit wider of the crease there, the angle will certainly be going towards his leg stump.
Farah into bowl, and it's a full toss, slaps straight to mid-off, and this time they don't try and get a quick single. It was hit too strongly, and so the fielder could just stand there and collect it from his standing position. Farah into bowl, and it's down the leg side, and this time they're going to go for a quick single, and they're going to whip it in, and they go for the non-striker's end.
A little bit of strength there from Steven there. Hasn't been his best match so far there. Probably should have gone to his end and try and get a direct hit.
Oh, 4 runs from it, so it is 141 for 7. Okay, so Pierce is to continue to bowl for his 5th over at the childcare end. Still to Lacey. Pierce into bowl, and Lacey slaps it back, straight back, and Pierce, as calm and as ninja-like as you want, just snapples it up and has it back in his chest. So, now mid-off is very straight. There is just a huge gap at extra cover. So tempting, so tempting.
Should certainly suit Lacey there. Very strong off the front foot.
I like this. So often captains in local cricket are conservative, where they try to block out a batsman's strengths and just try to make him hit into the weaknesses. But this time you have the gap with the batsman's strengths, and it's showing if you think the ball is there, go for it. And it's like trying to manufacture a ball that's not actually there and trying to make the batsman do something stupid. I like it. Courageous captaincy.
If there's any time to do it, it's right now.
And it's full toss, flip down to fine leg, but there's no one on the fence, and there's no one can stop it. 4 runs there.
That was a fantastic play from Lacey, and this is what Pierce was getting wrong with his overs last week there before his injury there. Was much too full there to Macca off, and he was able to play it for the leg side. And that's where his loose balls continuously be there, that full toss there.
Considering the way that Lacey plays, that he uses his legs not to step into the ball but to move them out of the way so he can swing his arms, the best ball would be either stumped right at the pads or far away that he has to stretch for it. Not full tosses and no half volleys. Ooh. I like that idea. Something at the toes would be nice, but not a full toss.
Well, one of the things that the boundary did do was actually grab the 100-run lead, and that's maybe what I kind of was looking for, that mental edge of having a lead of over 100 runs there. So that could be it. Yeah, we'll soon see.
So less than 60 overs to play in the day. Oh, aggressively hit, and the fielder at mid-off is going to have a piff, and goes for the striker's end.
Maybe not enough confidence there to have a go at the near end there, considering he only had probably 1.5 stumps to aim at from his angle. That's what happens when you're so far behind the game. You probably lose a little bit of that confidence.
Fine leg is now just 5 metres away from the fence rather than the 15 he was previously. Pierce into bowl. And it's an edge! And that is out. Good bowling by Pierce. Not the wicket that I predicted, but a good piece of bowling nonetheless. It was short of a length outside the off stump. The batsman tried to hit it onto the leg side as a sort of manufactured pull shot, and swung his body around far too quickly. Couldn't control his the bat to ball momentum and the way that the coordination of bat hitting ball, and so in the end he just got the top edge straight to Stevens.
You're exactly right there. I would have thought that playing through the line would certainly have been a better option there. Obviously all well and good in hindsight there, but the fact the gap was an extra cover and the fact that he was playing so well for there, I would have thought he would have to go through that.
That was the last wicket, that was the last ball of the over, annoyingly, so it is 8 for 147. And welcome back. So this is the 56th over of the lower plenty innings.
So Farah in.
And a wild whoosh, and that is a very good ball. The batsman is obviously a top hand player where he just tries to swing through his arms, and so making him stretch for it is a very smart idea.
So you got the action replay that time.
That was awful, because that one was much closer to the stumps. He could have actually stepped into it and hit it. It wasn't so far away that he couldn't reach it, and then but he was just moving towards the leg side. It was just a very bad shot. Far into bowl, and it's a full toss, and they have a piff, and that's a wicket. A diamond duck for that batsman. We will never know. We'll never know.
Well, I think considering that he's batting at number 10 there, I'm not sure if he's going to be the most fluent of batsmen there, but maybe that was just the idea, trying to get as many runs as they can there, and looks like they have decided to declare.
So a declaration, 9 wickets down, and I'd have to say Diamond Creek have gotten the better of this morning.
They've gotten 4 for 26 this morning, considering the overnight score there. So overall, if we go back to when Macca and Anderson were batting, that was 1 for 61. They finished on 9 for 147, so they've lost 9 for 86.
So here are the falls of wickets. So it was 1 for 61, 2 for 78, 3 for 100, 4 for 103, and then 5 for 120 at stumps. And then we've seen the final wickets fall, and so in the end, the last 8 wickets fell for about 50 runs.
Exactly right. If we want to have a look at how this morning went with the falls of wickets, we had 128 to score for 6, 128 again for the 7th wicket. The 8th wicket was 147, and likewise with the 9th there. So really only the one partnership there when Lacey got going, that got him 19. It was actually the only partnership this afternoon that was any good for lower plenty.
Yep. So in the end, I'd have to say Diamond Creek have brought themselves back into this game through just good, solid defensive bowling. Nothing spectacular, no match winners, but just really, you know, hard yakka, which considering how ridiculously pathetic they folded when they were batting, it shows that they do have some, well, to quote an Australianism, they do have some ticker.
Exactly right there. So Diamond Creek, just to put in the situation with the match, they are 103 runs behind, so we'll need 104 to have a position where they can be bowled out without low playing wings straight away there. That was the beginning of the 10th over, so there'll be 58 scheduled overs remaining in today's play there. Whether that's all Diamond Creek, whether that involves low playing, is only one way to find out.
Okay, so now we're going to take the innings break, and so you're going to enjoy a nice photo montage, and then when you come back to us after the break, we're going to be seeing the Diamond Creek batting response in the second innings.
Spaghetti stains and flat champagne, this evening is behind us. I lay my head on the same old bed, and I dream of the same old dreams. One life behind, one more to go. The autumn leaves, the winter snow, it sure don't plow itself, you know. So grab a shovel, cause it's time to go. Every morning's just the morning after. Every day we're fleeing from disaster. Every night is passing even faster, leaving way for the morning after. It's time that holds us on this earth. Without it we'd be floating in the universe, and we'd be nothing but a timeless pile of atoms in a vacuum. There's nowhere to move if we could. So toss a log on the fire, and let me tell you about my one desire. When this fire has burned away, I wanna light it up again someday. Every morning's just the morning after. Every day we're fleeing from disaster. Every night is passing even faster,